Okay, now I know if you read the title, there are probably two thoughts going through your head. One is probably agreement, and the other is probably thinking this is the stupidest idea that you've ever heard. You're thinking, why on earth should Bungie jump ship on Destiny 2 and instead focus all efforts on Destiny 3? Well, if you hear me out, then hopefully with this video, I'll be able to convince you why this may be the best course of action for Bungie to take that'll benefit both fans and developers. So just recently, the January update for Destiny 2 was released, and the community's overall thoughts on the update seem to be positive, and most claim it's a step in the right direction, but a very small step with a lot of ground to make up. And while there are some players that think Destiny 2 is fantastic, most players agree that the game won't really improve much till a substantial spring update is put into the game. But even then, all the update is doing is giving us back features that were taken away from us in Destiny 1. Destiny 1 did become a great game in year 3, and if someone bought the complete collection for $60, then it was a complete and great package. But Destiny 1 also had its fair share of issues, and problems getting to its current status. So with Destiny 2 following an even more controversial and more problematic post-launch state, I think something that would greatly help Bungie out, in terms of easing pressure off of them, while also making a better game in the future for us the fans, is for Bungie to abandon Destiny 2 after the Gods of Mars DLC, and just assign a small team to Destiny 2 that'll follow through with the rest of the free updates, while the majority of Bungie focuses on Destiny 3. This will help Bungie combat their largest enemy, time. Now to be fair, time is the biggest enemy of most video games, as the industry exists in a perpetual state of crunch for most games. Big and small, that ends up leading to many rushed products, but I think this problem is especially apparent with Destiny 2. Bungie may have made extremely dumb decisions about eververse and speed throttling, but I think a lot of that has to do with how long they have to develop expansions for Destiny and are simultaneously expected to develop a sequel. To me, the two main problems that Destiny 2 faces, outside of dumb decisions and greed, is 1. Fans demand a constant stream of content for Destiny and grow agitated when the content is missing or underwhelming. And 2. Activision demands a constant stream of content for Destiny and wants it to be released on a regular schedule, one large game or expansion at least every fall, and grows agitated when the content is poorly received and not profitable. Now, I've seen some news outlets blame the fans for expecting too much from Bungie on a timetable that simply isn't possible. But I would argue that this is also Bungie and Activision's fault. Activision is merely a publisher, so they are the ones who outlined the cruel and strict contract of forcing Bungie to release products on a tough schedule. And Bungie is at fault for thinking that they could somehow manage that timetable, and went ahead and signed the contract. I mean, when you look back at the old leaked contract deal, and the old release schedule, the plan was originally for a new Destiny game every 2 years, along with a major fall expansion like the Taken King that's supposed to be released in between gap years, along with 4 other DLCs during the year. That's an insane amount of content, but fans only held Bungie up to these standards because they had deemed it possible. If Destiny was announced from the get-go as the kind of franchise that would only release a new major entry every 3 to 4 years and a couple DLCs in between that, fans wouldn't be as upset waiting for new activities to do. Time is the enemy here, and this to me perfectly explains so many of Destiny 2's issues. No new enemies, no new classes, and no inclusion of old content because there simply isn't time for it. Instead, in Destiny 2, everything was focused on environment, so old areas wouldn't be recycled. Some users on Bungie's forums have also pointed out that this may have been another reason why features and fixes from year 2 and 3 of Destiny 1 weren't implemented, because they were being made at the same time as Destiny 2 is being developed, and it probably wasn't easy to just port all that over to work that had already been done or was being completed. It's been reported before that Eververse was given increased prominence to solve the revenue content problems from the past 3 years, but I think we also know that to some degree Bungie realized this was easy money and pushed it way too far. So now here we are looking at the current status of Destiny 2. And all I can say is that what Activision and Bungie are trying to do with the Destiny schedule simply isn't doable. It didn't work in the first 3 years, which exhausted Bungie on content, and produced a sequel that was not nearly as expansive as it should have been. So I think it's time to stretch this schedule out, and in turn, time for both fans and Activision to adjust their expectations accordingly. Destiny 3 won't come out till 2020 at the earliest, And while that is a long time from now, I think Bungie and Activision should come to agreement to solely focus on Destiny 3, similar to what BioWare is doing with Anthem. While yes, us Destiny fans would have a lot of downtime between now and then, there are loads of games to play right now, such as Monster Hunter Worlds, Warframe, The Division, and soon in the future there will be Anthem and Borderlands 3. My point is that there's already a lot of other looter shooters to play, so I don't mind waiting for 3 years or so for a proper Destiny game. And I understand Destiny's gameplay, style, and lore is very different from the others, but would you rather have small and underwhelming expansions to Destiny 2, and a rushed and disappointing sequel that'll repeat the exact same problems as the previous games at launch? Or would you rather wait 3 years for Bungie to release Destiny 3 as a massive game with new enemy factions, new classes, and all of Destiny 1 and 2's content that is built on the core foundations of how Destiny 1 Year 3 left off? For me personally, I think the latter is a much more preferable option, and I think the latter would produce a better outcome for fans and the developers. Now if you ask me if this will ever happen, no, I don't think for a second Bungie or Activision will change their mindset or the time frame, and because of that I'm fairly certain Destiny 3 will repeat the usual disappointing life cycle of Destiny games. Of course, all of this could have been avoided had Destiny 2 just been an expansion onto Destiny 1, but since that ship has sailed, I think this would be the next best solution. Okay guys, well that's my take on Destiny 2's current situation regarding its timeline and expansions, and I know my view and perspective may be an unpopular one, but I still felt it was worth sharing, as it can apply to many other gaming franchises in the market, a la Anthem and Division. And while both a rush game and a delayed game can be good, a rush game takes years to be good, while a delayed game can be great from the start. So with that said, what do you all think of this suggestion? Do you think this idea is feasible, and would you support this idea? Or do you have a better one? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next Shepard Gaming video. Keyless Ally.